It's the 2K Sports pregame show.
The NBA season is in high gear, and we are so glad to have you here with us on 2K Sports. I'm Ernie Johnson. My companions are Shaquille O'Neal and Kenny the Jet Smith. In this game, we'll see the Indiana Pacers against the Chicago Bulls. For Chicago, they lost Game 1 in this matchup earlier this season. They'll see them 4 times in all, looking to even the series with a win tonight. All right, guys, topic of the day. There was a stat that came out that was really interesting. Until last season, every NBA Finals in the last 15 years included either Duncan, Kobe, or Wade. Kenny, do you think Wade's impact on the NBA has gone underrated?
I think it has. I would say that I can't name 3 two guards in the history of the game that have a better career than him. I don't think I can name more than 3. Jerry West, Michael Jordan. That's about it. I'm not sure.
You know, above all else, Wade has won titles.
Kobe.
And he's done it in a number of roles with a number of rosters. He's a unique player, and over the last decade and a half, I have to agree with you, Kenny.
But those are the 3.
Yeah,
Kobe,
I agree with you.
Kobe, Jordan, and West. Everyone else can't say they had a better career. Maybe it's equal, but not better.
That's a good one to consider, good one to chew on. Time now for tip-off. We send it over to Kevin Harlan for the call.
The Bulls are looking to defeat their Eastern Conference rival going into this one. Pacers trying to take advantage of their home court in this one before leaving Indiana. And, of course, Mike Dunleavy. They really haven't filled the void yet in the wake of his absence.
You know, what the trade means to me, guys, is they think some of their younger players are ready to spread their wings and take on a little more responsibility. They're going to get more minutes for those guys and allow them to see a little more playing time.
Clearly a forward-thinking deal, you know, and even if his aren't the biggest shoes to fill, it still puts a lot of pressure on your young guys. And let's see if they're ready to fill that void.
Now let's take a look at the Bulls' opening lineup. They've got Jimmy Butler, Robin Lopez out there with Taj Gibson, and it's Rajon Rondo, and it's Wade in at the shooting guard position. Now here's Wade. And the pass to Lopez. Good work defensively by Turner.
First off, look, every year there are all-star game snubs, and perhaps last year Monte Ellis was the big one in the West. Hard to leave him off given the way he played for the Mavs.
Last game for Chicago, it was a loss to the Trailblazers in Portland.
And one of the factors, Kevin, that really hurt them in that game, the lack of success at the foul line. We all know how much those free throw woes can cost you.
And it gave those opposing fans a boost every time another foul shot clanged off the rim. I mean, that's an easy way to get the home crowd in your grill.
George with the defensive effort.
They are 0 for the game thus far. 0-4 here, still looking for their first make.
Monte Ellis has always had a knack for the big shot. When things are on the line, he is a guy that is not afraid to step up.
And Kevin, last season, he had a number of big second halves and fourth quarters for the Mavs. Really took over that primary scoring role from Dirk Nowitzki. Stole a lot of games for them last season.
All right, now, gentlemen, truth shots, roof shots.
First free throw is good. And good on the second, so he makes them both. About a minute and a half through the first quarter. Guys are looking for a spark here.
Yeah, I mean, a cold stretch offensively. They desperately need a basket.
Teague against Rondo. Teague kicks to Ellis. The shot by George, wide open. And he buries that one, drilling the rim on the way down.
Yeah, Monte did have a lot of big second halves for the Mavs last season. Seems like at least half a dozen games for them, he would just take over. Started to get looked at as the top go-to guy late.
Now, here's Butler. 17 points for him last game against Portland.
And don't forget about his work on the glass. I mean, he contributed in a number of ways.
Here's Teague. Jimmy Butler making his last shot. Jefferson is screen on Wade. Ellis with it. He had a 12-point outing in their last game against Washington. Just 4 to shoot. And it's George missing.
And for Monte, it makes sense to go to him late in games. He's so fast that he can create a shot anytime he wants. And very rarely does he not give you a chance to win with just one shot remaining.
Here's Teague. Chicago grabs the miss.
Now that's terrific defense at the rim. Got right in his path.
And you know they'll be conscious of him next time they take it inside, too. I mean, that's what really good defenders do. They make you think about their presence.
Now here's Ellis. Jimmy Butler unable to get his last shot to go.
And a moment here to check out the numbers for Ellis. He's getting around 16 points a game, 4 assists, and 4 rebounds. And you know, pretty terrific numbers across the board.
Yeah, so many books in his library, he lights up the scoreboard on a nightly basis.
Now, here is George. 11 points for him in that last game against Washington.
And don't forget about his playmaking in that game either. I mean, he did a great job of attacking the D and creating opportunities for both himself and his teammates. And if that doesn't get them fired up, guys, nothing will.
Greg, just what the doctor ordered, huh? Some high-flying antics to narrow the deficit.
Tell you what, fellas, that could give them the energy boost they've been looking for.
And so here is Indiana. After Chicago picking up a basket just moments ago.
It seems that every pass they make is leading to a score here. I mean, that's just exquisite ball movement.
And that's because the ball is looking for the best shot, and it's really paid off for them during the run.
Now here's Rondo. Really had troubles in the loss to Portland. And it's Butler missing.
No doubt it's been a bit of a struggle for him here in this quarter in terms of scoring.
They get it again. Here's Teague, and Gibson sends it back. And it goes out of bounds. That one off Gibson. Outside Jefferson. And Teague, here we go.
He's been anything but his usual self this quarter. It's actually been ugly to see. You know, for the Pacers last season with Paul George being out for most of the season, they knew it would be a struggle. They would go into lengthy dry spells that made it hard for them to keep pace in the East, in part because they missed Paul George's all-around brilliance and his offense.
Butler with the ball. George picks him up. Ellis against Wade. Count it from 12. Wade's got his first 2 points of the night.
Just such a well-rounded offensive player. He's got a little bit of everything.
Teague against Rondo. Rondo with the steal. In transition, here come the Bulls. Here's Wade. Finishes the break with a slam.
Quick hands on the steal and then just mad hops on the slam.
Great sequence for them defensively and Clark offensively.
Well, one usually leads to the other, Kevin. That's just good, aggressive, attacking basketball at both ends.
Indiana again missing.
Just doing the job on the backboard.
They sure are. I mean, they've done a terrific job carving out space under the basket and then pursuing the ball. You know, it's one thing to box out, but you've got to pursue the ball if you're going to get rebounds. And they look strong here in the early going.
And the foul on Monte Ellis. That's his first foul.
There's a chance he could have a big game if they don't D him up more tightly on the perimeter.
And for Wade, we often talk about his physical state. But what about the mental toughness? Here's a guy who's been playing in some kind of pain every game for the past few years, but he just keeps churning the butter, not wanting to let his team down.
So Indiana ends up with a new group on the floor. Greg, you brought the topic of Wade. He's had a chance to make several tough mental adjustments throughout his career.
Well, he's always been a guy willing to alter his game for the good of the team. That's why he's got those championship rings, Kevin. You've got to be flexible, not just talent.
Well, when Shaq comes in and joins him, then he had to change away when LeBron came in to play
Great
a
credit
different
to
way.
him.
Yeah.
Great credit to him.
Very admirable. We're on the clock. Miles, that's good. Now, here's Grant. To the middle. And there's Mirotic on the assist by Grant.
Give credit where credit is due right there. A terrific assist.
Nikola Mirotic, drafted as a late first-rounder, Clark, back in 2011. The Spanish star finally made his rookie debut in the NBA last season, and it was worth the wait.
It sure was, Kevin. I mean, once he started to get consistent PT, I mean, he was remarkable. Can run like the wind for a big guy, not that strong, but more aggressive than you'd think.
So the Pacers called timeout, their first of the game.
And back to Mirotic last season. Per 36 minutes, he averaged 18 points, 9 rebounds. He was also a tremendous foul shooter for a rookie big, and made the all-rookie first team, was second in Rookie of the Year voting. I mean, what more could you ask for?
Chicago making a switch here. Snell's checked in. And here's Lawson. He had a 15-point outing in their last game against the Wizards in Washington. Count the bucket.
Nice work on the inside. Hard to get that one up and over the big fella.
Well, it's not supposed to be easy down there, and a little artistry on the inside helped him make it happen. And, you know, for Mirotic, his value extends to the defensive end as well. He did a surprisingly good job of racking up blocks and steals last season. You have to believe that if he improves his power and consistency, an all-star nod isn't so far off. Let's see where the Pacers are, Kevin, in terms of the NBA rankings right now. Third in second chance points, fourth in fast break points, and they're among the NBA's most opportunistic teams. I mean, in terms of scoring points off turnovers, they've carved out a spot in the top 5 in the league.
And as for their #2 ranking in second chance points, that relentless pursuit on the offensive glass has led to a lot of easy opportunities. And believe me, they don't miss many.
All right, now, take a break. Take a break. 2 shots.
He's off on the first. He hits the second from the line. For a franchise that had so much success under his tenure, there was sure a lot of friction with Tom Thibodeau, and the Bulls front office surprised a lot of people, I know, including yourself.
Yeah, you know, it's not something that you see often, a winning coach at odds with his GM and president. With how often their differences came up, though, you knew something was afoot.
Kicks it to Snell. Down low, here's McDermott, and a foul on the shot. He'll go to the strike for 2.
And with Tibbs, he did end up getting fired from the Bulls this past season. Some saw it coming, but still, I think surprising given the level of success he had. His imprint is all over this Bulls team and the way they approach the game.
And when you look at how Tibbs got fired, I mean, there are a lot of reasons why a coach can be let go. I mean, he didn't have any performance issues, but apparently clashed in some form or fashion with the front office. Sometimes that's all it takes to be asked to go somewhere else.
And he's good on the second.
And guys, what a strange rookie campaign for Dougie McBuckets. I mean, he entered the draft as a polished sharpshooter. The Bulls traded up in the first round to get him, and he ended up playing 9 minutes a game over the course of last season.
Shots good from Young. And it's the Bulls with the ball. It's a three-point game. Grant outside. Dishes to Mirotic. And 2 free throws coming up as he misses that one. Drawing the whistle and a lot of contact there. It's on Thaddeus Young. On the topic of Doug McDermott, one of the most decorated college players in recent history, and Clark, he called a lot of his games.
Yeah, enjoyed watching him play, and I still think he has a bright future. Just never found any real rhythm. Averaged only 3 points a game. He didn't get much playing time, so look for him to bounce back in the years going forward.
Well, what a season it was for Mirotic last year. Came on stronger for the Chicago Bulls. Continued to improve. Effective in the playoffs. Really a joy to watch in his first year.
And interesting, so much hype going into the season was about Dougie McDermott.
Yes.
And whether or not he was going to be in the running for Rookie of the Year, and it ended up being Mirotic. Most years, he could have walked away with that award.
For Mirotic, he was most valuable late in games, guys. From March on, he led the league in fourth quarter points per game.
With the fadeaway. Jackson can't get that one to fall.
You know what? Just a little fancy on that possession there. Just go up in rhythm.
There's the dish to Grant. Pass to Portis. Feeds it to McDermott. Clock at 6. Pass to Portis. And he takes the fantastic lead pass up strong for the slam.
Tell you what, he's not an easy guy to stop when he's got his sight on the rim.
Never has been, never will be. He is a determined finisher.
Did he just go chop there with that one-hand tomahawk slam? And for that note about Mirotic, in the fourth, he outscored LeBron and Westbrook that month. That's impressive for any player, much less a rookie.
And the Pacers call time here. Defeated by the Wizards in their last game, they'll try to put that one behind them.
And listen, you have to take advantage of the freebies. And on that night, they did not, and that is why they just could not recover.
Exactly. I mean, they left too much cheese at the foul line. And in the end, it mattered on the scoreboard and cost them.
And here are the Pacers now. And a foul called on the shot. Got him on the way up that time, so he'll shoot 2 right here.
You know, last season, Thaddeus Young was moved from Minnesota to Brooklyn, guys. A good move for everybody involved as he helped with the playoff push.
Taking 2 shots.
All right now, gentlemen, 2 shots. Loose shots.
And he makes the first. Young last year, as you mentioned, GA, shipped to Brooklyn, provided good punch off the bench.
Yeah, and Young is so efficient in his scoring that he's a great guy to play heavy minutes off the bench. Shot over 50% from the floor in his games with the Nets.
So he makes 1 of 2 as the second one misses. Thaddeus Young provides a lot of things, Clark. Solid on both ends of the floor. You can plug him into almost any lineup and make it work.
Yeah, he's an ideal basketball player because of his versatility. I think that's one of his greatest strengths. Not only can he play the 3 or 4, he can go inside and outside, too.
Here is Miles. A look at his stats. He averages a bit over 8 points a game, and the shot is good from Stuckey. And the first time out of the game called for Chicago.
And guys, when you talk about Thaddeus Young, last year was another solid season for him. Excellent job finishing around the rim as usual. Solid rebounding numbers, but still trying to improve his consistency from the three. He started the season strong in that department and kind of fell off a bit at the end.
Man, Thaddeus Young, he's really entering the prime of his career right now at age 27. Hard to believe he's now in his 9th season. Only spent 1 year in college. Still plenty of room to grow.
Bulls trail by 3. Moments ago, our Doris Burke had a chance to catch up with the coach, Frank Vogel. Doris?
Yes, Kevin, the crucial aspect for them in his mind is going to be making things tough inside for their opponent. He said they're physical, they like to mix it up. If we don't respond in kind, they'll push us around and we'll get bullied all game. Back to you.
All right, Doris, thanks. Just 3 to shoot. Nice shot by McDermott.
You know, the defense has got to do a much better job of fighting over those screens.
And Greg, especially when the ball is in his hands. I mean, come on now. You know he doesn't miss too many open looks like that.
Now here's Lawson. Out to Stuckey. Lets it go with a 3. Mirijic grabs the miss. Pushing it up. Here's Snell. Against the rim with a 2-handed slam. Wow.
Excellent work there in transition.
Yeah, I think it's always better to go early in transition, to attack when it's there, because oftentimes you can beat the defense down the floor.
Here is Stuckey after Chicago picking up a basket just moments ago. Allen, that's good.
And that putback about as easy a bucket as you're going to get.
Exactly what happens when you don't box out, Greg.
Grant outside. Mirijic the screen. Grant kicks to McDermott. Second chance effort. And so he draws the foul on the shot. A trip to the line to shoot 2. The Bulls have shot 4 of 7 as a team from the line tonight. Several misses early. Free throw good, Portis.
And injuries once again were a central theme of the Bulls season last year. Losing Rose was one thing, but then having Jimmy Butler lose a lot of time put them in such a tough spot.
And Indiana making a change here. George is checked in. And he makes both free throws. And for the Bulls and injuries, a lot of teams plan for these type of things. There's only so much Clark you can do to mitigate losing your starting backcourt.
But I tell you, great respect and admiration for the Bulls for how they fought through the difficulty. I mean, their front court did what they could. The injuries, once again, I thought turned the Bulls from championship contenders to just a playoff team.
Here's Grant following the basket by Rodney Stuck. Passes it to McDermott. Kept alive. Here's Portis, and that one is hammered home.
This guy is a beast on the board.
And when he gets those second chance points, he does not waste one of them.
And you know what? It's always going to be a powerhouse finish with him. We know that for sure.
And the Pacers with possession here. The Bulls getting the bucket. Left side, George. Here's the 3. Kept alive by Indiana. Lawson from outside, and he recovers it. Allen with the screen for Lawson. Poke loose. Miles, that's for 2. And there are the Pacers with another bucket. 43 seconds left in the first quarter of the game. Grant kicks to Mirijic. And the officials call a traveling violation. Some changes for Indiana. Turner comes in for Lavoy Allen. And it's Ellis in for Rodney Stuckey. Butler, he's checked in for Chicago. Rondo comes in for Grant. Indiana's gone, just 1 of 4 from three-point range here in the first. Ellis with a screen on Rondo. And Lawson, here we go. Ellis wide open. Tries again. And, there's a whistle. He was going up for a layup. And while it looked like there was some contact, I wasn't sure they were going to call it a foul shot or not. But sure enough, they have. So he'll head to the free throw line. The Pacers have gone 3 of 4 at the free throw line tonight.
And the season numbers for them at the line thus far are really poor. Something I'm sure they are making a point of emphasis.
You know, I know that's an aspect they've been trying to address as a team. I mean, they've got to get those free throw numbers up and improve.
Jefferson's checked in for the Pacers. Teague comes in for Ty Lawson. Robin Lopez is checked in for Chicago. Gibson comes in for Mirotic. And they now lead as the free throw drops for him. 23 seconds left to play here in the first. Here's Butler. Checking some stats on him right now. He's averaging just around 22.5 points a game. He feeds it to Lopez. And he dunks it down.
And just a step ahead of the D in that possession there, making the pass. Nice assist.
Here's George. With 1 on the clock. 1 quarter in the books, and it's been a close one so far. Bulls lead by 1. Let's take a quick break now, and then it's on to the second quarter after this. Talk to Monte Ellis. He says he feeds off his doubters. He loves to hear someone say what he can't do.
I think I had that all my life. I always had to prove somebody wrong, and you know, still to this day. That's just the competitiveness that I believe my oldest brother built into me when I was little.
Monte Ellis is still trying to prove people wrong now in Dallas after their quick exit from the playoffs a season ago. Clark, it's been a decade in the league now for this very talented guard.
And you know, that kind of relentless determination is really something Monte is known for, and one of the reasons he has been around for 10 years in the NBA as a consistently good player and lethal scorer.
Well, it's been a tight one so far as we get the second quarter going back here. Looking at what we've seen from the Bulls, what do you guys think?
It's been a point of emphasis, no doubt, to make sure they attack the rim offensively.
I love the fact they're not settling for outside shots. Keep attacking that rack.
On the court right now, second quarter for the Bulls. D-Wade out there with Rajon Rondo. Then it's Taj Gibson. And there's Robin Lopez. And it's Butler in at the 3, the small forward. It's 3-on-3 on the fast break. Here's Gibson. And Jefferson sends it back. Now the Pacers moving it up. Teague's got the ball. Bounces high off the rim and drops. 6 points here for George. And an important part of every team's game. We'll look at the hustle stats for Indiana.
You know, they've done a great job of getting a hand up on shooters. Actually have gotten a lot of blocks as well, solidifying that defensive effort.
And also, how about the fact defensively, they're getting that backboard and getting out in transition, especially in this first half.
Wade. And that one goes in as he is fouled. It'll be 3 points if he converts at the line.
And for Jimmy Butler, so much improvement over his young career, especially as a shooter. His rookie year, he shot just 18% from 3. Last season, he shot 38% from there.
And Indiana making a change here. Young's checked in. Getting back to Jimmy Butler's shooting, he looks fantastic with his form now. He's worked so much on his mechanics, as you know, Greg. So much dedication, and that hard work has really begun to pay off.
And you know what? Jimmy Butler should serve as an example for so many young players of what can be accomplished with the tremendous work ethic. I mean, this is a guy that shot the ball well from behind the arc, 83% from the free throw line. And you wonder, given this young man's fortitude, just how much higher those percentages go and how much better he can become.
Now Rondo, following the miss by Ellis from deep. Shot off the screen. Lopez, no what?
It's not winning basketball when you're attempting shots like that.
Yeah, come on now. You got to remember it's a team game. He's got 4 teammates out there with him. I don't think he needs to try to do it all by himself like that.
Teague against Rondo. He dishes it to Lopez. And there's the feed to Butler. And they double up inside, and the call will be against Thaddeus Young. That's his third foul of the game.
That's the risky run by staying out there as he picks up his third.
And some changes here for the Pacers. C.J. Miles, he's checked in for Young. Stuckey comes in for Ellis. And Ty Lawson subbed in for Jeff T. Chicago also making some changes. Mirotic is checked in for Lopez. And it's Grant in for Rajon Rondo. Wade dishes to Mirotic. That falls. Nice feed that time from Dwayne Wade. Mirotic has got the lead up to 2 now for Chicago. Outside, George. Jefferson setting the pick for George. Off the pick. And it's wide right. Hits off the rim.
The defense did a really good job of choking off the middle there once he got inside.
Stolen by Miles. Gibson with the steal. And he goes up strong with one hand and flushes it down.
And guys, that's a big swing right there. I mean, taking the steal and then turning it into 2 easy points on the dunk.
No telling how important that sequence could turn out to be.
And guys, in a game this snug, moments like that are the ones we usually look back on at the end as a difference maker.
Now here's Butler, following the miss by Rodney Stuckey. Shot's good by Butler.
And he can time his passes so perfectly. Wow, what an assist.
Stuckey passes to Lawson. Screen by Jefferson. Lawson is doubled to the middle. Down low. From the line. And once again off the mark by Indiana.
And good defense there to play up and get a hand in the face.
Well, he's got a tough mindset. He's confident as a defender. And when you combine those two things, it makes it real hard to score on him.
Here's Lawson. After Chicago picking up a basket just moments ago. To the right side. Here is Miles, defended by Butler. Shot clock at 5. 3-pointer, Lawson. The shot is off, so the Bulls will take it the other way. Now Butler. And it's Grant in the corner, stolen by George. Now here's the fast break. Stuckey leading the way. And it's Miles missing.
Yeah, credit the D there. Got his hands up and made sure he wasn't comfortable on the release.
Sure did. Stayed real snug on him and didn't allow him the space he needed to get a good shot off.
Lawson with it. Wade picks him up. Miles. That is in there. Lawson with the assist. Miles has got 6 points. The Bulls leading by 6. Everyone knows about the Paul George injury from last year and how it affected the Pacers. He said almost the entire season, and there was no doubt they missed him.
Yeah, and when George came back, Kevin, the Pacers got hot, but they had to put him on a minutes limit. And it wasn't just George, though. The team as a whole had a lot of injuries during the course of the season.
Clark, they've been looking out of sync offensively.
You know what? A basket here would do a lot for their confidence.
And Dwayne Wade, as we know, one of the best in the business at blocking shots from that off-guard position. Hard to think of a guard who has had as many swats as Dwayne Wade in the past couple decades. One of the best ever.
Timeout called the Pacers. Greg, you're talking about Wade on the blocks. Last season, he climbed up to 6th all-time in blocks, Clark, by an NBA guard.
Amazing. Actually has the most blocks of any player who is his height or shorter in NBA history. Even with his explosiveness waning, his timing and savvy allow him to still be effective blocking shots.
LaVoy Allen's checked in for Al Jefferson. Chicago also making some changes. Portis, he's checked in for Gibson. And McDermott subbed in for Jimmy Butler. So here is Indiana, trailing here by 8. He got an advantage there off the pick and took it right in.
Boy, they keep hammering away at him inside, forcing that ball into the paint. Smash mouth basketball.
And Clark, it's a strategy that has served them well during the course of this first half.
Here's Portis. He's got 7. McDermott with it. Deflects the pass. Here's Stuckey. The rebound by Grant. Grant's got 4 rebounds in this game.
their game plan needs to change if they're going to get out of this hole, because he is just not there offensively.
Here's Portis. And it goes as the official calls the foul. Count it. He'll shoot one more at the free throw line.
How about the concentration? He gets hit but stays with the play and gets the finish.
Innovation and improvisation right there, Greg. Finding a way to get that shot to fall after taking the contact.
Tony Snell's checked in for Chicago. What do you guys think so far about the offensive approach for the Bulls?
You know, guys, we've really seen them do a lot of damage in the paint so far.
Yeah, and they've also balanced that, though, guys, with the attack off the bounce as well to get them some points.
Now, here's Lawson. He's averaging a bit over 5 points a game. It's good, and he drew contact on the shot, so he will go to the line. A three-point play chance here. So Lawson will go to the free throw line. It's going to go on Nikola Mirotic. You know, Clark, the one thing you can say about Ty Lawson is his awareness around the floor. He's just ubiquitous, and his court vision is incredible.
Excellent peripheral vision. He averaged almost 10 assists a game last season. That's the best year of his career thus far.
Mirotic has a wide-open look. A three-pointer off the mark.
You know, even though he missed that three-point shot, I think the defense has to do a better job of challenging the shot.
Yeah, as a coach, you can really ill afford to have those types of opportunities presented against your defense.
Now, here is Mirotic, following the miss by Rodney Stuckey. Now, here is Lawson. He has 6. And the wide-open shot from Stuckey. And the whistle blows. It's going to be on Lavoy Allen. That's his 3rd foul of the game. Turner's checked in for Indiana.
Miles Turner.
The Bulls leading by 6. Grant outside. Here's Portis. Turner covering. Portis, the pass to Mirotic. And again, Chicago. No good. Indiana's gone 0-2 from deep here in the second. Lawson with it. Now defended by McDermott. The pass to Miles. No good with the triple. For Chicago, they've gone 7 of 13 from the field since the start of the second. Pass to Portis. He kicks to McDermott. The tray and the foul on Miles Turner. That is his first foul of the game.
And now only one away from being in the penalty.
Yep, the next one puts them on the line, so they've got to be careful the rest of the way.
Looking at who's out there now for the Pacers. Ellis comes in for Rodney Stuckey. And it's Teague in for Ty Lawson. And Chicago also making a switch. Hondo's checked in. Back to Mirotic. Bank shot. No good.
He just has not been able to get into that groove yet, guys. But as a whole, it hasn't affected them too much.
That is some tough defense there against one of the better finishers in our game.
Snell. It's rebounded by Teague.
Well, he won't miss many of those, especially with the defender not in the best of positions there.
And there's the foul. It's on Tony Snell. That is his first foul of the game. And Indiana making a change here. Young's checked in, and the Bulls making a change also. Robin Lopez is checked in for Mirotic. Now here's Ellis. He has 5 to the inside, and it will go, and the Bulls lead is cut down to just 4 points in the bucket from Turner.
Good look. He'll make that one most of the time.
Here's McDermott. It's deflected, and they get it back. The shot's good from Lopez. Lopez has got 6. And for the Pacers, their shooting is definitely lagging at the moment. They're just 30% in the second quarter. And Young, here we go. And it is flushed down with a nice jam.
Now, this is why the breakaway rim was invented. For plays just like that.
Well, he almost brought the whole thing down, Clark, by hanging on that long.
Yeah, he did.
I tell you what, though, great dunk, and this is even a better game we got going on right now.
And he gets it to go. Lopez has got 4 this quarter.
And at the offensive end, he's done about as much as they could have hoped for today.
Young, a screen on Rumble. The open shot, Ellis. That's good, and so Teague with the assist. Teague's got his 3rd assist on the night. The Bulls leading by 4. Rondo kicks to Lopez. Marvelous lead pass, and he throws it down.
And nobody, guys, among the defenders stepping up to challenge him on that drive to the 10.
And Greg, he says, thank you very much, and sails in for the flush.
And those are the kind of sequences that tell you why the score is what it is.
Now the Pacers with possession here. The Bulls getting the bucket. Ellis goes in. Lopez with the block. He's all alone. Ahead, here's Rondo. Now in the scoring column with that deuce. 1 for 2 this game.
Those defenders look like they're out of gas. I mean, they're getting pushed around on the low block.
Yeah, but they better rally soon because they've given up 3 straight buckets in the paint.
And it will go, and the Bulls' lead is cut back down to 6. They get the basket from Young. Chicago's gone 0-3 from beyond the arc to start the second quarter. Rondo against Teague. Turner with the steal. Here's Ellis. It's tipped, but they get it back. No one near Turner as he lets it go. No good with the elbow jumper.
They are really getting the work done inside with their rebound.
The defensive backboard has been controlled. They have not allowed a lot of second chances. It's been about one and done for the most part. And I'm not talking about leaving column.
Yeah, I know you're not. That's a bunch of good rebounding taking place there, boy.
4 on the clock. Rondo dishes to McDermott. And he tries off the glass, but it's no good.
And it's just one of those days, guys. He has just struggled to shoot the basketball.
Ellis, that's good.
I tell you what, he has quite the act to follow. But Fred Hoiberg was a quick choice for the brass in Chicago. Signed that 5-year deal over the summer. Was easily one of the most in-demand coaches available.
Time called here. The Bulls decide to talk it over. Well, Greg, for Hoiberg, it's his first job as an NBA head coach. Now, we know he played. He's been a part of an NBA front office. Clarkie came from Iowa State, where he honed his coaching skills and was highly respected.
Yeah, very much respected, particularly as an offensive coach. And we know the Bulls are pretty solid defensively, and he'll be looking to ramp up that offensive approach for that team, and I think he will.
George is checked in for Indiana. Butler, he's checked in for Chicago. Chicago leading by 4. Outside Rondo. Kicks it to McDermott. This one for 3. Basket is good. The assist from Rondo. And it's 7 points for Doug McDermott.
That shot becomes effortless for him when the D is so relaxed. They got to get more intense.
To the paint, Turner. Great pass to set up the lay-in.
You know what? That's what you like to see. A perfect pass leading him right into the shot. Didn't even have to break stride.
Rondo against T. Rondo passes to Fortis. Back to Rondo. And they double up on him. Here's Lopez, and he bangs it home with one hand.
How about that? Breaking out the Statue of Liberty on that dunk.
A nice way to pad that lead a little more.
Yes, indeed.
Now here's Ellis. He's got 9. Poked loose. And oh, here we go. Lopez has got it the fast break chance. And finished off by McDermott.
And guys got careless with the ball there, and the turnover leads to the big stuff.
Once he came up right with the steal, he went straight on the attack.
That's exactly the way to do it too, Kevin. Go hard to the bucket and don't let them set up the defense.
And they're controlling the boards, Kevin. That's +5 in that category.
And guys, you know that rebounding is a huge part, a huge component of winning games. It's not a glamour stat, but it's necessary if you're going to be a winning team.
The clock runs out, and we're heading to halftime. Bulls out front, leading by 9. And now we'll send it down to Doris Burke, who's standing by courtside.
Well, Dwayne, it certainly looks as if you guys are having plenty of fun out here tonight. Tell us a little bit about that first half. It looked like a track meet.
Yeah, it's a lot of up and back, close out the paint, close out the three-point shooter, get the ball out, go. So, you know, these are one of those games that you enjoy to play.
Thank you so much. Back to you guys at the table.
Thank you, Doris, and we'll be back for the third quarter of action following halftime.
And now, the 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Hello again, everybody. Ernie Johnson here alongside Kenny, the Jet Smith, and Shaquille O'Neal. We'll be looking back at the game's first half. Dwayne Wade has been all over the floor tonight. He had 12 points, 3 rebounds, and 2 assists. And Shaq, what did you see out there from the Bulls?
Well, what's really shifted the game in their favor has been their rebounding. They got a good edge on the boards, and that's a product of their hard work. All 5 guys been battling, putting everything they have to fight on the glass. That needs to remain the focus for 2 more quarters if they want to hang on to their lead.
And Kenny, let's get your input on the Pacers.
Their inaccuracy from behind the arc was brutal. Shot selection, I didn't see any. The perimeter offense they're running, you could scrap that. They need to get back to the basics. Pound it inside, more pick and roll. Try to pick up some easy buckets in transition.
And that'll do it for now as the second half of our game is about to get underway. Kevin Harlan has the call.
Now the second half about to start up and begin any moment.
We've seen D-Wade getting it done. 12 points, and he hasn't forgotten to get his teammates involved either.
And he's conscious, I think, Clark, of good ball movement. It needs to be a part of their game plan throughout.
Pacers trail by 9. And now let's check out the lineups courtesy of Gatorade, all fueled up and ready to go for the second half of basketball. On the court for Indiana, Paul George is out there with Jefferson. Then it's Ellis. Then there's Teague. And it's Turner in at the 5, roaming the paint. The Bulls leading by 9. Outside Rondo. And stolen by Jeff Teague. And it's Ellis penetrating. And while there's a break, here's a collection of the shooting guards that have made an impact with their passing this season. The leading assist men among 2 guards. In the 3rd spot, Dwayne Wade.
And what that group has a great understanding of is the importance of ball movement. I mean, they can all create their own shot, but their superb ability to set up teammates really stands out.
Yeah, I think you've got to attribute it to the unselfish attitude that each of them has. I mean, sure, they're going to attack and make sure they get their points, but they get just as much satisfaction in racking up assists, too.
Free throw good, Ellis.
And one bright note for the Pacers last season was the play of their bench. Adding Rodney Stuckey was a huge boost for them.
Second free throw, no good.
And they continue to control the glass.
Guys, I think they've simply been the more physical team, and that's why they're ahead.
Ellis against Wade, and fouled hard that time. He'll get to the line and shoot 2. And Stuckey led the charge for the Pacers bench, Greg, as you were talking about, but all around the reserves, Clark, were fantastic on the Pacers.
Yes, 3rd in the league at almost 41 points per game off the bench, 1st in the NBA in bench rebounding, and top 10 in field goal percentage as a bench.
And the first one drops. Bulls made the postseason for the 10th time in their last 11 seasons. Last year, they have become a fixture, Greg, in the playoffs in the East.
And how about last season, Kevin, had that interdivision matchup in their first round against the up-and-coming Bucks. Some hiccups form in that series, but they were able to prevail.
And Wade drops them both.
Boy, in that playoff series against the Bucks, the Bulls looked like they were primed for an upset as they started slowly, eventually pulled it together, and came in as the underdogs against the Cavs.
Now here's Teague. On the wing, George. Ellis against Wade. Shot clock at 6. Again, the miss by Ellis.
And the Cavs knocked out the Bulls in 6 games. Bulls went up 2-1 in the series, but didn't have an answer for LeBron. Strong effort from the Bulls, though, but they just couldn't match the firepower of the Cavs.
And it's Gibson finishing it off.
Pretty passing. Timely recognition as to where the open man was.
Pacers trail by 12. And here is Teague. Taking a look at his stats, he's averaging around 9.5 points a game. Wade against Ellis. 5 on the clock. George, that's a two-pointer. And that one comes up a bit short.
The shot's there for him, and he's got to take it. I don't care if he doesn't convert. That's a shot he has to continue to take.
Now here's Rondo. The 12-point lead, their biggest of the games.
And when the size advantage is as big as it was there, I mean, that's exactly what he's supposed to do in that situation.
Inside, and it's going to be out of bounds. The Bulls will take it. Here we are in November, and let's see how things are going out east in the early season. To take a look at the Bulls, they're sitting 8th right now in the early going. And, of course, Indiana, a game and a half out.
And looking at Chicago, they're a team searching for a way to take a leap forward this season. So far, here in the early going, that leap has not existed.
Well, with the personnel they have, Greg, that leap probably not going to come. I mean, they could be a playoff team, but I don't see them being a major threat.
Now here's Rondo. Looking at his numbers, he's averaging about 6.5 points a game. Here's Butler. The Pacers pull it in.
This is not the slam dunk contest. You don't get do-over. You got to finish the job.
They set the pick. George, that's a two-pointer. George missing again.
3 straight misses here to start the second half.
Chicago leading by 14. Here's Butler. And foul called as he misses. He'll go to the line and shoot 2. It's on Al Jefferson.
Really impressed with the way Jimmy Butler last season made big strides in his game, going from a supporting role player to someone you can build your team around.
And Jimmy Butler had the career highs across the board last season, won the Most Improved Player of the Year award, really picking up his production in his 4th season.
You know, we had seen the flashes of potential in Butler before. Last season, he sustained great play and really took everything to the next level.
Some changes for Indiana. Lavoy Allen's checked in for Turner. Stuckey comes in for Ellis. And Ty Lawson subbed in for T. And the Bulls making a change also. Grant's checked in. And so Butler nails both of them.
And no doubt last season the Bulls were clearly preparing for the playoffs. They played their rookies but added a lot of playoff seasoned veterans to that roster.
As you mentioned, the Bulls added veteran leaders last season. Pau Gasol was the notable one. 11 Bulls Clark had playoff experience prior to their postseason run a season ago.
And that's invaluable, Kevin, to have that kind of experience. I mean, having Gasol, 2-time champion in the locker room, big, as is having almost a dozen guys who understand the intensity and the details that playoff basketball requires.
And the Pacers call time here. They beat the Bulls during their last encounter in Chicago.
Their last game against this squad, they won out thanks to some big contributions from the bench.
A total team effort, and I think the starters enjoyed a chance to be able to step back and relax and enjoy how the bench played.
And so here is Indiana. It's a 16-point game. Lawson kicks to George. Dishes it to Allen. Indiana moving it around. Shot clock at 6 to stop the drought. And the officials whistle a foul on the shot. The bucket's good. He'll go to the line. Chicago making a switch here. Mirotic is checked in. The Pacers have knocked down 5 of their 9 attempts at the stripe tonight. Everyone understands the importance of Paul George to the ball club. That's why taking his offensive game to the next level would be so beneficial.
Yeah, he has all the physical tools, the instincts, and obviously he has made those strides. But if he wants to become a top 5 guy, he's still got a little bit of work to do in terms of his game.
Now Lawson, after Dwayne Wade's three-pointer that didn't go. Lawson dishes to Jefferson. Stuckey for 3, and he gets it to go. Stuckey's got 7 points in the game.
Not the biggest fan of that shot, but he had the space to get it off, so why not?
Wade kicks to Lopez. Boom, he jams it straight down.
Tacks a few more points onto their lead with the tomahawk.
Ah, that's bringing it down hard. Clark,
Yes,
bring it down hard,
yes,
my brother.
Symbolic there as well of the effort here tonight. In that tight, with that much of an advantage height-wise, there's just not a lot the defense can do.
Chicago leading by 10. The drive by Wade, and Gibson kicks to Grant. And the call will be against Ty Lawson. That's his first foul.
And really, these are some of the toughest calls an official has to make.
Yeah, but in this case, I think he got it right. I mean, the defender was still moving there and never really had good legal guarding position. He wasn't set.
C.J. Miles, he's checked in for George. And the Bulls making a change also. Tony Snell's checked in for Robin Lopez. Here's Mirotic. He has 5. And it goes out of bounds. Last touch by Wade. And here on the 2K leaderboard are the teams with the quickest hands in the league. Number 1, the Bulls.
You know, this year they've been the #1 team in terms of steals. They put an awful lot of pressure on the ball handler, and they also, as a team, do a good job of jamming the passing lanes. Textbook defense is what they play.
Stuckey kicks to Lawson. And the lead is down inside single digits. Lawson's got 8.
Really aggressive play there, taking it to the rack against the big fella.
You know, Greg, aggressiveness is really the only option when you're on the wrong side of the size equation.
Now, here is Mirotic. And they get some nice contributions from him on a nightly basis as he averages over 11 points a game. Now, here's Lawson. Jerry Grant missing his last shot. From deep, Miles. Mirotic grabs the miss. Chicago leading by 8. Snell kicks to Grant. Out to Wade. That misses off the backboard.
Very dangerous to leave a guy like that open. Lucky break there for the D.
Lawson drives in. Lawson can't get that one to fall. Bulls have gone a lackluster 3 of 9 from the field since halftime. Gibson setting the pick for Wade. Outside Gibson. And it's Grant in the corner. And again, Chicago. No good. Indiana's gone 1 of 2 from beyond the arc since coming out of the break. Here's Miles. Indiana again missing. And Chicago shooting at 48% from the floor. Looking good. Grant, that's good. And the Bulls lead by 10.
That was a smart pass by Wade that time.
Lawson's against Grant. Screen by Jefferson. Lawson outside. 6 to shoot. Shot, high post. Lawson can't get that one to fall. Chicago leading by 10. Grant, right side. Tried to bank it in, but he misses.
There's no getting around the simple fact that that's a shot he has to.
And if that doesn't get them fired up, guys, nothing will.
Greg, just what the doctor ordered, huh? Some high-flying antics to narrow the deficit.
Tell you what, fellas, that could give them the energy boost they've been looking for.
That Kia Slam Cam replay really gave you a good look at the action. Here's Wade following the score by Indiana. Lawson kicks to Miles. That is in there. Lawson with the assist. Miles has got 4 this quarter.
Boy, that's a nice feed by Lawson.
Chicago has gone 0 of 2 from deep to start things here in the second half. The dish to Snell. And Gibson kicks to Snell. Feeds it to Mirotic. Takes the 13-footer. Good. Mirotic has got 7 points.
Just a major size difference between the defender and shooter on that possession.
And Greg, without a hand in his face, he's simply going to spray whoever's there.
And it will go, and the Bulls' lead is cut down to just 6 points with the basket from Allen.
That was a good time to call a timeout to try to settle everybody down and get back into their offensive rhythm. They've been coughing up the rock an awful lot.
Time called here. The Bulls decide to talk it over. And something not a lot of people talk about, Ty Laws's defense. He has the lateral quickness, Clark, and strong lower body that gives, point guards fits.
Yeah, he's like a fire hydrant in terms of his build and strength. He's a good ball defender, but he gambles sometimes, so that can cut both ways. He'll get steals, but he'll also put you in tough positions defensively.
Thaddeus Young, he's checked in for Jefferson. Chicago also making some changes. Portis comes in for Taj Gibson. And McDermott subbed in for Dwayne Wade. Here's Grant.
In talking about Lawson's defense, he was down in steals last season. But a part of that is because he stopped gambling as much. He's learned where to pick his spots.
Now here's McDermott. 6-point game. And Allen with the block. Lawson in the corner. And the Pacers tack on 2 more.
Getting back to Ty Lawson, he's under 6 feet without shoes, relatively short wingspan as well, yet he's always had to deal with size limitations on defense, but he uses phenomenal anticipation and speed to win more than his share of battles at that end of the floor.
Mirotic, and he gets it to go. Mirotic has got 9. The Pacers have gone better than 53% from the floor since halftime, shooting 8 of 15. They swipe it. Here's Grant. They set the screen. Here's McDermott. Here's Portis. And Lawson with the block. Pacers trail by 6. Stuckey outside. Knocked away. There's the double team with Grant. 5 to shoot. Stuckey passes to Miles. Let's go. Gets the front of the rim and out. The Bulls leading by 6. McDermott dishes to Snell. And some nice ball movement here by Chicago. Portis can't get it to go.
You know what? His finishing ability, not really at the level that you would expect from a pro, but he's going to have to start playing with more force.
Lawson kicks to Allen. Here's Young. And the bucket counts. He's on his way to the free throw line. Try to make it a 3-point play.
Well, we've seen that movie a few times, haven't we? An easy bucket in the paint.
Well, listless and lifeless at the defensive end. I mean, especially inside. They've really got to pick up that interior defense.
So an entirely new group in now for Indiana. Turner's checked in for Lavoy Allen. Paul George comes in for C.J. Miles. Ellis is checked in for Rodney Stuckey. And it's Teague in for Ty Lawson. Chicago also making some changes. Robin Lopez is checked in for Mirotic. Jimmy Butler comes in for Tony Snell. Rajon Rondo is subbed in for Grant. Now here's Lopez. 16 points for him. Teague against Rondo. Portis, the pass to Butler. And he bangs it home with one hand.
Tell you what, he can do a lot more damage to that rim than that when he wants to.
And you know, Clark, with the lead they're enjoying, I'm surprised he didn't put a little something extra on that one.
Me too.
Well, I'll tell you what, I'm glad he didn't, because otherwise we'd probably have a 45-minute delay here. He shattered the backboard. Even though there's a height disadvantage, he's still able to go up and over his man.
Well, he's fearless. I mean, there's nothing that concerns him. No matter what the matchup is, he's a guy that doesn't back down. He's beyond being intimidated.
Now let's take a moment to get your guys' take on the scoring so far for the Bulls.
And I like how they've taken the high percentage shot in the paint. In that first half, we saw them doing it, and they've continued to succeed as the game has worn on.
They've also jumped on any opportunity they've had to attack the basket tonight. I mean, excellent penetration.
Here's Portis. 9 points in the game so far. Shot from 12. Lopez, no luck.
Yeah, but you have to love that tough interior defense.
And, Greg, that's exactly what he gives you. I mean, he's constantly making his presence felt around the rim.
The Indiana Pacers had a solid season last year, given they were without their star for most of it. They played well at home.
Yeah, even without Paul George, they were in contention. How about 23-18 at home, which is really a solid mark when you consider they didn't have their 2 best players from a season ago.
Shooting 2. Shooting 2.
Free throw drops from McDermott.
You know, for the Pacers in their 23-18 home record, that was better than several teams that made the playoffs in the East. They were very tough at home at the defensive end of the floor.
And McDermott drops them both.
And the Pacers were 3rd in the league in field goal percentage against at home. Something about this crowd really drives the Pacers on the defensive end, even in a down year.
That's good. And that's 12 points here for Thaddeus Young.
And that assist got him a little nod from his teammate after that one.
Chicago leading. Outside Rondo. Lopez dishes to Butler, and they double up Butler. Back to Lopez. Down with both hands.
And guys, this game won't be close for long if they keep giving up dunks like that.
No, it won't, G.A. You're right. A glaring error defensively and letting him get all the way to the basket that time.
Well, it's only 2 points. I mean, it was flashy, no doubt, but still, it only counts for 2. 2 is all.
Shots good from Young.
They should continue to get the ball inside. The defense struggling to contain them.
And when you make 5 in a row in close like that, it also takes pressure off your perimeter guys, too.
Now here's Rondo. Pass to Butler. To the middle. Oh, and that one, no question, powered it down.
Really crisp, intelligent passing to make that basket possible.
Teague against Rondo. And here's Ellis for 3. Chicago grabs the miss. Lopez has got his 4th rebound in this one. Here's McDermott. Pacers have made 8 of their 12 free throws in this game.
The line for your Pacers, Paul George. Taking 2 shots.
All right now, gentlemen, 2 shots. Loose shots.
And the first one drops.
The story in the first half was their low free throw percentage. They've corrected that here in the second half, and hopefully they can build on it as this game continues to progress.
And George drops them both.
Well done again. He doesn't have the same problems at the line that plague some of the NBA's other big men.
Now Rondo. They set the pick. Shot off the screen. It's Butler that time on the assist by Rondo. Rondo's got assist number 5 here tonight.
A lot of space right there to get that shot off.
Not a very good job of the defender getting over the top of that screen in that particular play.
And we've reached the end of the third. Bulls lead by 4. And we're coming right back. Be sure to stay with us as we get started for the 4th quarter. We've got a great game on our hands as we welcome you back. The 4th quarter of action getting started. Chicago leading by 4. On the court for the Bulls, getting this fourth quarter started. Rajon Rondo is out there with Dwayne Wade. Then there's Jimmy Butler. Then it's Taj Gibson. And it's Lopez, and at the center, locking down the middle. And for the Pacers, they're shooting 43% from the floor. For three, Ellis. And it's Chicago with the rebound. Butler's got rebound number 7 for him tonight.
Well, he had 1 3-pointer in the first half, but so far in the second, he's come up with 2 saves.
And Lopez throws it down.
How about that, breaking out the Statue of Liberty on that dunk?
A nice way to pad that lead a little more.
Yes, indeed.
Ellis with a screen on run. And T, here we go. And that one hits back iron.
Oh, tough D on the inside.
It sure was, Greg. No easy access to the basket when that fella's in the middle. Boy, he threw out some punishment with that two-hand throwdown.
And Clark, now's the time to do it. Continue to attack that rim.
We're just over a minute into this final quarter of play. Gets Ellis on the wing. The three. And that comes off the assist by Jeff Teague. Teague's got assist number 9 now. Wow, what an effort here tonight. Ellis against Wade. Passes to Rondo. He feeds it to Lopez. And he finishes it off with a one-handed jam.
Plain one-hand flush. I love it.
Clark, I think he got a few more inches on his vertical by going with the spike.
Yeah, the one hand lets you get up high.
No doubt about it. At least it looks like that from this angle. And watching Al Jefferson over the years, he can be dominant and be efficient in doing it. For all the points he's piled up, he's always been around a 50% shooter. And for all the times he's handled the ball, his turnover rate is relatively low. So that's giving your team good quality possession.
Shots.
The first one falls. Talking about Jefferson, it's not just his efficiency with the scoring. He's efficient, Clark, with his time on the floor. He's always producing a block shot here, a steal there, of course. All the rebounds. He covers every base.
Yeah, the data analytics folks rely on percentages to measure efficiency. But just as important as overall production per minutes played, Big Al excels there.
Well, guys, no secret that Al Jefferson has never been known for his defense. Clark, mostly viewed as an offensive player.
Yeah, he really is strong down in the low post. But last season, Jefferson went out of his way to change that no defense perception of it.
Rondo against T. Screen by Jefferson. And Turner kicks to George. Down low, and it's going to be out of bounds. The Bulls will take it.
And, you know, it's what spurred Jefferson to kind of rededicate to defense when he realized teams would pick on him and make him the focal point of their attack.
The Bulls leading by 9. Outside Rondo. 9 feet out. No good. Great D that time from T.
And for Jefferson and his defense, players know when they are being targeted. So good for Big Al to do something about it.
Chicago's gone 1 of 2 from three-point range here in the fourth. Wade kicks to Gibson. He dishes it to Lopez. The feed to Wade. Stolen by Ellis. And now Ellis running the floor all by himself. That's good. And now it's only a 5-point Bulls lead.
It's as if the defense just let him go.
He'll thank them for that because he got a chance to perform a little razzle-dazzle on that one.
Rondo against T. The drive by Lopez. And there's Dwayne Wade on the assist by Lopez. Lopez has got 3 assists in the game. For Indiana, they've gone 3 of 5 here in the fourth quarter. Pretty good numbers coming out of the break. Teague against Rondo. Teague, the pass to Turner. Indiana moving it around. Clock at 4. Shoots. And the shot is long. The Bulls leading by 7. Here's Rondo. Excellent D there from George. And here are the Pacers now. Moving on from this game, they're scheduled to take on the Lakers at the Staples Center. Sets in motion a 4-game road trip for them.
And that's how the coach would draw it up on the fast break from start to finish.
Yeah, and what a finish it was, guys. Really nicely done.
Chicago calls timeout.
You know, if you're looking to build a small forward and there wasn't a LeBron James template, you might go with PG, Paul George. Height, length, athleticism, that combination off the charts with him. And he's got a nice unflappable demeanor, too.
Let's find out what Doris Burke has for us.
Well, Kevin, I was able to listen in on what the head coach of the Chicago Bulls was going over in his huddle. He was propping his guys up for their defensive pressure, saying, listen, the pressure you put on them has been fantastic. Keep pestering them, keep forcing turnovers, and we'll be in a great position to win this thing.
Thanks a lot, Doris. Three-pointer, Wade, and the Bulls with another miss. Yeah, talking about Paul George, a big part of his dominance, his attitude. He doesn't yell or pump his fist. He's really the quiet assassin.
Yeah, once he maxes out in the weight room, which he will, now that he's in his mid-20s, I think he's going to be an Adonis. I mean, exactly the kind of physique you're looking for in a prototype at the small forward.
There's a good screen. Puts up the baby hook. The rebound by Gibson. Gibson's got his 4th rebound with that last one here tonight. Outside Rondo. Lopez left side. Looking for Wade. He gets it there. Another miss by Wade. Pacers trail by 5. Here's George. Jimmy Butler comes up with the rebound.
That's what we call good defense in the paint. Worth its weight in gold.
It absolutely is, and maybe even more than that. I mean, you saw it right there. Without his presence, that's an easy basket.
Fast break. Here comes Indiana. Outside Teague. Here's Ellis. Can't get it to go. Now Chicago takes it the other way. And here we go. Fast break. Wade's got it. And he was fouled on the way up. 2 free throws now for him.
Really giving them fits. They just can't find an answer for Butler. 11 rebounds, and what a game he's had passing the ball, too.
I love the fact that he plays for his teammates, really spreading the ball around, getting everyone involved.
No good on that one. And he's good on the second. And so here is Indiana. They trail by 6. Clark, they've been looking out of sync offensively.
You know what? A basket here would do a lot for their confidence.
And George kicks to Ellis. Stolen by Wade. Butler on the wing. The pass to Rondo. And so it looks like the Bulls will retain possession here.
Oh, nice play there to get a hand on that pass and tip it out of bounds.
Just a whisker away from coming up with the steal there.
Mirotic is checked in for the Bulls. Butler kicks to Wade. Here's Lopez, and it is flushed down with a nice jam.
And just another example, Kevin, of how they built this lead, just outworking.
Greg, that was definitely an effort play right there. You talk about that all the time, fighting to get proper position, then slamming home the putback.
Yep, and if they can maintain this energy level, their lead will be safe.
And they hold a huge advantage on the backboard.
Greg, and that's been the key to this lead. I mean, they've really dominated the glass.
And George, here we go. Butler against T. Shot is off. Some solid defense from Butler. The Bulls leading by 8. Lopez sets a screen for Rondo. Wade against T. Wade kicks to Lopez. And it's Ellis with the rebound. Ellis has got his 4th rebound with that last one here tonight. Here's Jefferson, rebound by Butler. Butler's got 11 rebounds in the game. Pass to Mirotic. Teague on the double team. Mirotic's shot is off. Indiana's gone 1 of 2 from three-point range here in the 4th. And there's Paul George on the assist by Teague. Teague's got his assist totals piling up, 11 now for him. Teague against Rondo. To the inside and taken away by Ellis. Left side, George. Lopez with the block. Rondo with it. Right side, Butler. Lopez sets a screen for Butler. Back to Rondo. Three-pointer, Wade. Pacers with the rebound.
And you know what? If you're the defense, you got him right where you want him. Let him keep shooting those threes because he's been brutal in this half.
Jefferson dishes to Ellis. Can't cash in on the 10-foot jumper.
Not sure if he just ran out of gas or what, Kevin, but he's been awful ever since the second half started. Not even been a factor.
Wade. He kicks it to Mirotic. And so he draws the foul on the shot. A trip to the line to shoot 2.
Check out the game for Mirotic. He has 9 points and 1 assist. He's given them just what they would have hoped for today.
Even more, I'd say.
At the line for the Pacers, Mirotic. 2 shots.
The first free throw is good.
You know, you've got to like the fact that they're getting to the line. And on top of that, they're making their free throws in this half. That bodes well going forward.
And Indiana making a change here. Young's checked in. And so Mirotic nails both of them. Pacers trail by 8. They could use a big shot here to get this offense going.
Sure could, Kevin. I mean, too many empty trips. They need some points. Major league big boy throwdown right there.
And he keeps a tight grip on that rim after the finish.
Yeah, maybe that'll give them a little bit of that swagger that they seem to have lost.
Wade against Ellis. Outside Butler. Pocket 6. And the basket by Wade. Wade's got 7 points for the quarter.
I mean, he was great in his last game, Clark, and clearly he has not lost that love and feel.
Ellis with a screen on Rondo. T kicks to Ellis. Goes up on the wing, and right through it goes. Ellis has got 20 points.
And immediately looking for the open man when the double team comes to him.
Teague against Rondo. Kicks it to Lopez. Right side, Butler. And it's going to be 2 free throws. Drew contact on the shot.
Of course, he didn't have an attempt there in the first half. He's hoping to be a little bit more active and aggressive here and draw some fouls here in the second.
At the line for the Pacers, Jimmy Butler. Taking 2 shots.
And that one misses. Taj Gibson's checked in for Mirotic. He hits the second from the line.
They're doing a great job here in the second half. They've brought their free throw percentage up quite a bit. And that's winning basketball. That's one of the ingredients in winning basketball. Good free throw shooting.
Here's George. So the whistle blows on the shot and 2 free throws for the contact right there.
Looking at the game for George, 15 points now and 3 great steals. Good contributions for him offensively with the assist and also making some nice steals.
You know what, Clark, you're right on the money with that. He's been just as creative as he has been disruptive.
No good on that one. And that trip coming up empty, missing both.
Not a typical trip to the line for him there. He had been knocking him down today.
Wade with it. George picks him up. Wade left side. Here's Rondo. The basket good off the assist from Wade. Wade's got his 5th assist in this one.
Yeah, well done to finish that one off.
George against Butler. Thaddeus Young on the wing. And once again off the mark by Indiana. Chicago leading by 9. Now here's Butler. Wade right side. An amazing finish with a hand right in his face. Wade's got 9 points now in the quarter.
And that's sort of been the story here today, hasn't it?
Screen by Young. Teague the pass to George. Inside, Turner. Banked in off the glass.
Excellent assist there. Just led him to the perfect spot.
1:25 left to play here in the 4th. The drive by Rondo. And Gibson kicks to Butler. Wade left side. From about 16, it's Chicago with another bucket.
This switch has definitely been flipped to on this quarter, guys.
Time called here. Indiana decides to talk it over. They're behind by 11. 1:10 left in the 4th. By Young, and George kicks to Teague. To the paint, here's Ellis, and a foul on the shot. He'll go to the stripe for 2.
Some good numbers for Ellis. He has 20 points, and the steals are starting to pile up for him also.
And Clark, he's really gotten into their heads because of it. I mean, guys are on the lookout for him, always worried about where he is.
Ellis.
Good on the first, and that brings them to within 10. And so Monte Ellis nails both of them. 1:02 left to play here in the 4th. Dishes to Gibson. George against Butler. Feeds it to Lopez. Oh, took the contact and tried to throw it down over the top, but instead he'll shoot free throws.
No, I tell you what, he earned his money on that foul.
Yeah, if you're going to foul, then make sure that you don't give a chance for the and one.
Shooting for Indiana, Robin Lopez. 2 shots.
So the first one drops, and that'll push the lead to double digits. So an entirely new group in now for Indiana. Lavoy Allen's checked in for Turner. C.J. Miles comes in for George. Rodney Stuckey's checked in for Monte Ellis. And it's Lawson in for Jeff Teague. So Chicago going with an almost entirely new group here. Portis, he's checked in for Gibson. McDermott comes in for Jimmy Butler. Johnny Snell's checked in for Dwayne Wade. And it's Grant in for Rajon Rondo. Grant dishes to Snell. Down low, it's stolen by Allen.
Not sure there's anything they can do to salvage this one.
Not anymore. I mean, any chance they had got away from him, slipped right out of their hand. He's one of the best in the league at that. Even with just a tiny sliver, he always seems to find a way to get it up and in.
Here's Snell. He's guarded by Stuckey. Snell, the pass to Lopez. The dish now to Grant. Some nice ball movement by the Bulls. Shot clock at 5. Puts up a 3. Can't get it to go. Lawson. Offline. And so it's Chicago winning this one. A solid win on the road for them. This building was dead silent by the time, GA, this one wound down.
And that's what you want to do. Take the crowd out of it by crunch time. Don't give them any chance to lift their team up at the finish.
And now let's catch up with Doris Burke, who's standing by on the sideline. Doris?
Dwayne, you guys had a real battle on your hands in this one. Were you expecting such a tough game?
That's the NBA, man. We're not that dominant where we can just come in and blow every team out. You got to respect these other teams. They're good. They come and they play very well versus us, and we got to find ways to win ball games. And that's what it's all about right now.
A win is a win. Thank you, Dwayne. Kevin, back to you.
All right, Doris, thank you. Well, folks, that's going to do it for now. This is Kevin Harlan thanking you for watching. And now time to send it over to the award-winning Ernie Johnson for the postgame show.
The 2K Sports postgame show.
Hi again, everybody. This is Ernie Johnson, joined by Shaquille O'Neal and Kenny the Jet Smith. Time now to present our Jordan Player of the Game, Robin Lopez, with a strong double-double, points and rebounds. He was a force that was not going to be denied with his efforts both on offense and defense. What are your thoughts, Kenny?
He was dead on from the field tonight, guys. I'd call his performance economical because there was no wasted opportunities. He took advantage of every good look he got. I mean, everything he put up was going in.
Well, his ability to get into the paint, get to the rim was deadly. For a guy who's mainly a perimeter shooter, it was remarkable how many of his points came right at the bucket.
And that wraps things up, folks. Thanks for joining us. For Shaquille O'Neal, Kenny the Jet Smith, Kevin Harlan, and the rest of the 2K Sports crew, I'm Ernie Johnson. Good night, everybody.